Hello, it's the 7th of July and I'm in a thoughtful mood today. I'm regularly in a thoughtful mood on the 7th of July because it's a significant day for me for a variety of reasons, some of which I'm going to share and some I'm not. Today is the 12th anniversary of the 7th of July London bombings, where 4, or I can't remember, it might have been 5 bombs were set to go off pretty much simultaneously in London and were designed to inflict massive damage to innocent human lives. Part of the reason I remember this so much is that my father was in London that day, and he was on the street where the bomb was on the bus, and he was only a few hundred feet away, if that. Now my dad was pretty deaf, and he was a clever man, my dad. He was a doctor, and he was in the library of one of the medical associations, which was in the basement of the building, and Dad actually didn't hear the bombs go off, bless him. And he said the first thing he knew about it was that he was trying to leave and he wasn't allowed to leave the building because all the security and emergency services were outside trying to deal with the aftermath of the bombings, and so Dad was made to stay in the building, and that was the first thing he knew of it. As his children and with my mum as well, we were all frantic because he did have a mobile phone, but it wasn't switched on because he only used it to ring people in emergencies, and obviously a bomb going off on the street where you are is not enough of an emergency for a 76-year-old man to ring home and just confirm that he's okay. Anyway, so and Dad was fine, obviously. He was fine, but it did make me it made me think at the time, and it's made me think ever since, about the impact that sort of action has on people, not just at the time but for the rest of their lives. Because probably for the rest of my life on July the 7th I will pause and think about those people who lost their lives that day, and how that must impact on their families. And one of the other reasons that July the 7th is significant is this is the day 11 years ago that my dad had the first of his last heart attacks, if that makes sense. He had a heart attack, and he was taken to hospital, and he existed. I wouldn't say he was alive, but he didn't die until 10 days later. But July the 7th was the last day that him and Mum had spent any time together, where he was conscious and they were expressing their love for each other, and they had done that morning. They had spent time together. They talked about the future and what may or may not happen in the future, and they'd had lunch together, and my mum went to go upstairs for a sleep, and my dad went out to the local small town to go to the library and never came home again. So all significant days. However, that wasn't what today's post was about at all. But today is a thoughtful day, so it's made me do a bit of thinking. Now, last night on social media, I was having a conversation on Facebook, and I was watching a discussion that was happening in one of the groups that I'm a member of, and it was a fairly heated discussion, and it was about what and it was about what could be considered a fairly controversial subject. And I don't need to go into the subject because the subject itself was irrelevant. But I was shocked. I was really, really shocked at just how quickly people are happy to start throwing insults and making vast assumptions and just dismissing great swathes of society and being totally intolerant. And then, and this is the bit I don't understand, and then justifying it with religion. Because I don't know a single religion, I don't know the writings of a single religion that says be intolerant, be rude, be hateful, incite violence. There isn't one. As far as I know, all religious writings talk about loving one another and being tolerant and being nice, just being nice to each other and treating other people the way that you'd want to be treated. And it doesn't matter what religion that is. Now, can I just make a distinction? I want to make a distinction here between religion and an organised religion and faith, because your faith is your personal thing, and I'm not ever going to question anybody else's faith. I have no right to, in the same way that you have no right to question my faith. I don't discuss my faith usually. I do have a faith, and I do have a set of beliefs that I live by, or that I try to live by. And the most important thing of those is forgiveness and love and tolerance. And what I saw yesterday in writing was no forgiveness, no love and no tolerance, and then for people to try and use their set of rules that they're supposed to live by, that they feel they're supposed to live by, to justify their outrageous comments. So I don't know, it made me really sad. It made me really sad for the world that there are so many people who are so intolerant and so nasty. How is this world ever going to heal? How are we ever going to put things right when people are so quick to judge and so quick to be so awful to each other? And these are being awful to strangers, to people that we have no idea what's going on in their lives. I mean, what right do people have to make those judgments? Oh, I didn't realise it had made me so upset, and I didn't know it made me so angry. Sorry. All I want to say is that whatever your faith, whatever your religion, please just take a bit of extra time to be nice to people, because being nice to people and kind and understanding, it doesn't have a faith, it doesn't have a religion, it doesn't have a deity of any kind. It's a basic human behaviour, and it is sorely lacking. I think I've said enough.